Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tosif, and I'm back with a new live stream to discuss some very, very important topics. In fact, as I was getting ready to do this live stream, I was thinking that there's so much to discuss. There's so much to discuss. I don't know where to start and how I can cover so many topics. So I'm not going to be covering all the topics that I think should be discussed during this live stream because there isn't enough time for that. I mean, it's going to take hours and hours and hours. So what I decided to do was to focus on a few important ones, and then hopefully I'll publish my thoughts on some of the other topics in podcast episodes, and perhaps tomorrow I can do another live stream maybe to share more commentary. So my friends, I appreciate you supporting this channel. Please, if you are tuning in, make sure that you are subscribing. If you have not done so already, make sure you hit the like button and also share this video. So Frank is here, Edwin is here. Everyone, please, as you are tuning in, please introduce yourself. So Frank and Edwin, good to see you both. Thank you all. And I hope that more friends will be tuning in as we move forward. So breaking news regarding Elise Stefanik. Elise Stefanik is a congresswoman from New York. She represents the people of New York's 21st congressional district. And Elise Stefanik, a very, very prominent name in American politics. When you look at the GOP, Elise Stefanik really is a rising star. She really is. I think everyone would agree. Elise Stefanik is a rising star. Melissa, good to see you. Thank you for being here, Melissa. Kay Cooper, good to see you, Kay. Welcome. Thank you all. Hopefully more of our friends will be joining. So wonderful. Make sure you hit the like button, please. So Elise Stefanik, she's fairly young. I believe she's a millennial. Yes, I think she's a millennial. Elise Stefanik, I was very happy when she was nominated to be the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. Marjorie, so good to see you. Thank you for being here. When Elise Stefanik was nominated to be the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, I was very happy, but something has changed, which I'm going to talk about. Donald Trump has asked Elise Stefanik to stay in the House of Representatives. So I'm talking about the withdrawal of her nomination for that position. I mean, this means that she is not going to be the U.S. ambassador to the UN, but she is going to remain in Congress as a congresswoman, and that's the breaking news. So there are lots of questions that people have regarding this, and that's why I thought it's important to discuss this topic. Evelyn is here from Vegas. Evelyn, so good to see you. Thank you so much. As I see our friends joining, I'll try to say hello, and then I'll move on with the things that I have to discuss. But I'm so happy that you're all tuning in. Thank you so very much. So Trump is the one who nominated Elise Stefanik to be the U.S. ambassador to the UN. But now it is President Trump who has asked her nomination to be withdrawn. And there's a reason for that. Elise Stefanik is needed in the House of Representatives so that the Republicans can hold on to the House majority. Already, you know this, and we've talked about this. The House majority that we have, we the Republicans, we have a House majority, but it's a very, very slim majority. And if Elise Stefanik vacates her House seat, and if another Republican is not able to win that seat, then that will be a loss of a House seat for the Republicans. It'll be a big loss for the GOP. And we already have a razor thin majority. Now, if we had, let's say, like 15 or 20 extra seats, okay, then there wouldn't be a whole lot to worry. You got like, 15, 17, 18 extra seats, you lose one, all right. I mean, too bad, but not a big deal. But we got such a slim majority that if Elise Stefanik vacates her seat, and if another Republican is not able to replace her, if a Democrat wins that seat, then it's a tremendous loss for the GOP. It's a tremendous loss for the America First agenda. It is a tremendous loss for we the people. And so President Trump has asked Elise Stefanik to remain in the House. And I'm going to read to you a post from Truth Social. This is a post by President Trump on Truth Social. He wrote, "As we advance our America First agenda, it is essential that we maintain every Republican seat in Congress." That is so true. Absolutely correct. So let me continue. He said, "We must be unified to accomplish our mission, and Elise Stefanik has been a vital part of our efforts from the very beginning. I have asked Elise, as one of my biggest allies, to remain in Congress to help me deliver historic tax cuts, great jobs, record economic growth, a secure border, energy dominance, peace through strength, and much more, so we can make America great again. With a very tight majority, I don't want to take a chance on anyone else running for Elise's seat. The people love Elise, and with her, we have nothing to worry about come election day. There are others that can do a good job at the United Nations. Therefore, Elise will stay in Congress, rejoin the House leadership team, and continue to fight for our amazing American people. Speaker Johnson is thrilled. I look forward to the day when Elise is able to join my administration in the future. She is absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Elise." So this is a message from President Donald J. Trump thanking Elise Stefanik, explaining to the American people why it is important for her nomination for the UN position to be withdrawn, why it is important for Elise Stefanik to remain in Congress, and not just to remain in Congress, but to rejoin the House leadership team in Congress, and to continue to fight for the American people. Misty, so good to see you. AC Cruz, so great to see you. Thank you so very much, everyone, for being here. Misty, AC, great to see you. Thank you for joining. One thing we know, my friends, that Elise Stefanik would have been confirmed by the Senate. That much, I think, we can confidently say. Confirmation would be no issue for Elise Stefanik. But if she would have gotten confirmed to be the U.S. ambassador to the UN, and if a Republican would not have, if a Republican ends up not winning that House seat, if Democrats win that, then that's a big problem. And so I hope you understand what's going on. We don't want to lose our House majority. Elise Stefanik, she represents New York's 21st congressional district. And, there's something going on in the 21st congressional district in New York. I'm not sure what the issue is. I have not studied the politics of New York's 21st congressional district, but based on the information that I have gathered, based on the things that I've read, it appears that there are divisions among the Republicans in that district regarding who should be the GOP candidate for Congress from that district. And this is something that we see in politics. It does happen. when there's a vacuum, or an expected vacuum for a seat, the candidates jump in. And sometimes the primary race can become so heated that divisions start to appear among Republicans in a particular district. So, I mean, think about a district, just pick any district, a red district, Republican heavy district. Let's say somebody has been the congressperson from that district for a while, and suddenly the congressperson decides to vacate that seat. What ends up happening, you got a lot of people jumping into the race to try to win that seat from the Republican Party, from the same party. But we can often see that even among Republicans, the contest gets so heated that it becomes, in some ways, pretty unpleasant at times. Competition is important. If there's a vacancy and there are like 3, 4, 5 Republicans who wish to compete for that seat, competition is good. But if competition reaches a boiling point, then divisions sometimes start appearing. Republicans, different Republican voters pick different candidates, and that primary becomes so heated that it's just like sometimes people forget that, hey, we're all in the same party. Let's have healthy competition. Let's see who wins and let's support that candidate. Okay, let's unite. And anyway, sometimes divisions can appear even among Republicans, and that makes things very complicated. So as I said, competition is good. A heated primary is not necessarily a bad thing. But in the case of New York's 21st congressional district, reportedly one of the conservative candidates said that he would do a third-party run if he doesn't win the nomination. And if he does that, so you got Republican candidates hoping to win that seat, they're competing in a primary. And one of the primary candidates said that if he does not win the nomination, then he's going to run as a third-party candidate. And what happens in that scenario? You got a Republican candidate, you got a Democrat candidate, and then you got another Republican candidate now running as a third-party candidate. So the Republican vote gets split, which probably means that a Democrat will end up winning that seat. Give me 1 second, my friends. So this is, I think, what is going on in New York's 21st congressional district. And we cannot take a risk. If Elise Stefanik remains in that seat, she's going to win, and the seat will stay in Republican control. But if she vacates that seat, and if the divisions among the Republicans running for that seat continue, and if a Republican candidate ends up running as a third-party candidate, it's going to be a huge problem. And that's why I think the right decision is to keep Elise Stefanik in that seat. And believe me, my friends, Trump values loyalty. If somebody is loyal to President Trump, he will remember that. And so Elise Stefanik may be losing the opportunity to serve as the U.S. ambassador to the UN right now. But believe me, President Trump will look for the next opportunity to have Elise Stefanik join his administration in some important position. Okay? Because Trump cares about his supporters, those who are loyal to President Trump, those who believe in the America First agenda, those who support President Trump's efforts to make America great again. President Trump will support them. He understands and he values loyalty. America first. So I am sure that in the future, Elise Stefanik will find some important position in the Trump administration. As President Trump also said, he said, I look forward to the day when Elise is able to join my administration in the future. She's absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Elise. So that is what is going on. There's a lot of work to do, and President Trump needs strong allies in Congress, and Elise Stefanik is definitely a very strong ally. A lot of great work being done right now by President Trump and his administration and the Republicans in Washington. Now, as we talk about great work, let's talk about immigration enforcement and deportation. Regarding immigration enforcement and deportation, great work is taking place. Kristi Noem, the Homeland Security Secretary, visited El Salvador's massive confinement center. It's a confinement center. It's a detention facility where the worst of the worst criminals are being housed. The worst of the worst criminals, okay? I mean, I'm guessing some of you have seen those images and those video clips. Have you seen that? The worst of the worst, okay? I mean, these criminals who are being housed there, they are the worst of the worst, okay? Gang members, violent people, criminals, vicious criminals, gang members. They have been deported from the US. They are being housed in that facility in El Salvador, massive confinement center. Alleged members of Tren de Aragua are being kept in confinement in El Salvador. And Kristi Noem visited El Salvador. She toured that prison. And so El Salvador is being a good partner right now, okay? And, you know, when you look at international relations, you'll see countries that are trying to challenge the U.S. You'll see countries that are trying to criticize the U.S. You'll see countries that are opposed to the U.S. You'll see countries that are opposing President Trump's executive decisions. But, you know, El Salvador is being a good partner. El Salvador, you know, we're grateful for that. And Kristi Noem said, when she was in El Salvador and she toured that prison and she talked in front of the camera, and her message was loud and clear. She said, first of all, do not come to our country illegally. You will be removed. You will be prosecuted. And she also said, but know that this facility is one of the tools in our toolkit that we will use if you commit crimes against the American people. So loud and clear message from Kristi Noem. And really, I mean, anyone from anywhere in the world watching those videos of those criminals housed in that detention facility, no one's going to dare to come to the US to commit crimes. Okay? That's why it's called peace through strength. President Trump is achieving peace by demonstrating strength. Okay? So this is great, my friends. If you support President Donald J. Trump, will you please write Trump 2024? No, it's 2025. Let's write Trump 2025 in the live chat, my friends. Please write Trump 2025 in the live chat and make sure that you are liking the video. Please like the video. Okay, I see Mark Jameson, Melinda, Evelyn, Luis. Luis? Is that how I pronounce it? Luis, right? Kay Cooper, Cindy, Bill. Everyone supporting President Donald J. Trump. Okay. Yes, my friends, please like and subscribe. As Evelyn just said, Evelyn is EHR79. Evelyn is saying like and subscribe. Please do so. Marjorie, thank you so much, Marjorie, for your support. Okay. More than 250 illegal aliens were deported to El Salvador on March 15th. I think it's more than 260, actually. I think the number may be 261, I'm guessing. And reportedly, Colombia and the US have reached an agreement to share biometric data on migrants. So Kristi Noem and the Colombian foreign minister signed the agreement in Colombia on Thursday, and a lot of progress is being made. ICE officers are arresting illegals all over the country. All you have to do, my friends, go and look on X. Go on X and look at the official page of ICE on X, formerly known as Twitter. And you can see a lot of important information. 370 illegal aliens arrested in Massachusetts during a week-long operation. 370 illegal aliens arrested in a week-long operation in Massachusetts. Lots of other convicted criminals being arrested, including gang members. And you can just keep scrolling, and you'll see images of lots of criminals who have been arrested by ICE. Each and every day, American communities are becoming safer and safer as more illegal aliens are being arrested, detained, and deported. Okay? Our communities are becoming safer and safer because of immigration enforcement and deportation. All right. Rachel is here. Hi, Rachel. Good to see you. Good to see you, Rachel. Eric. And who else is here? Who did I not greet yet? I think I greeted everyone. Okay. All right. So, my friends, the Trump administration is solving national problems as well as international problems. Things are quite heated in the U.S.-Canada relations. Mark Carney had a press conference today. Who saw that? Did anyone see that? Laureen is saying, hello from San Antonio, Texas. Hello, Laureen. Thank you for being here. And Eric is here. Eric with a C, Eric with a K. Okay. All right. Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, had a press conference today. And you know what? Something that he said, this is something you need to know. I'm sure many of you have already heard about it. But those who have not, let me tell you, Mark Carney said that the old relationship with the United States is over. Okay. Mark Carney is saying that the old relationship with the United States is over. Okay, so he's suggesting that this is truly a time for transformation. He says that the old relationship is over. I watched Carney's press conference. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched the starting, the initial questions. I watched a significant portion. And here's what I can tell you about Mark Carney after watching that press conference. How many of you watched that press conference? Let me know. Here's my observation. I'll tell you what. Mark Carney lacked confidence. Mark Carney lacked optimism. He lacked energy. Mark Carney's facial expression showed that he was nervous during that press conference. Mark Carney understands very well that the United States of America is unstoppable. So Mark Carney was nervous, clearly, visibly. If you paid attention to the tone of his voice, to the volume of his voice, and his facial expression, then I'm sure you'll agree with me that Mark Carney was nervous. There was no confidence. You know, the leader of a country should have confidence, should look confident, should be energetic, and people should be able to get an expression of optimism from the face of the leader of a country. But in the case of Mark Carney, there was no confidence, no optimism, no energy. Instead, what we saw, and I saw that on screen as I was watching Mark Carney's press conference, I saw that. I detected in his face nervousness, anxiety. Let me know if you agree with me, my friends. Did you observe what I observed, or do you have different observations? Let me know. But I could understand that Prime Minister Carney was nervous. He was anxious because he understands very well that the United States of America is unstoppable. In his words, when he speaks, he tries to express power. He desperately tries. He tries to portray that he's got strength. But in reality, there is not a whole lot that Prime Minister Carney's administration can do. And let me tell you, I don't see this as a conflict. You know, when we look at U.S.-Canada relation right now, some might say, "Oh, it's a tariff war, it's a conflict." Mark Carney sees the ongoing developments in the U.S.-Canada relations to be a conflict. He views this as a conflict. He views this as tariff war. But let me tell you, the way I see it, it's an offer for a great future, an offer made by President Donald J. Trump for Canada to become a part of the U.S. and for the Canadian people to have an amazing future. What President Trump is offering the Canadian people is a great future. If Canada becomes a part of the United States, then together we will have so much of strength. It'll be unbelievable. Strength and natural resources and technology and manpower, everything. If Canada becomes a part of the US, the combined territory will be absolutely unstoppable for decades, maybe centuries to come. So, my friends, share with me your thoughts, okay? Share with me your thoughts. The Canadian people are suffering right now. Housing crisis, I talked about it. Inflation, I talked about it. The healthcare system is not great. So the people of Canada, they're suffering for various reasons. So it is in their best interest to become a part of the US. And if Canada becomes a part of the US, there's not going to be an issue of tariffs. I mean, tariffs don't apply anymore then. So Mark Carney may look at the current developments in the US-Canada relations as conflict, but truly, it's not a conflict. It's an offer for a great future for the people of Canada. But people like Mark Carney and Doug Ford are not happy about this offer. President Trump has an offer for a great future for the people of Canada. But Mark Carney and Doug Ford are not happy about this. So, you know, Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, and who's Doug Ford? Doug Ford is the Ontario Premier. And you know what he said? You know what he said? Let's see some comments. Okay. All right. Ontario Premier Doug Ford said that he wants to inflict as much pain as possible on us. Doug Ford said that Canada will inflict pain on the US. If Canadian leaders continue to say stuff like this, it is not going to help them. They're just making the US-Canada relationship bitter. We don't want a bitter relationship. We want an excellent relationship with Canada. And it'll be absolutely amazing if Canada becomes a part of the US. But what Doug Ford said, Ontario Premier, he said that Canada will inflict pain on the US. This is not the kind of language that he should use. This is not the kind of thing that he should say. Because it's going to spoil this relationship that we have, the US and Canada relationship. If Doug Ford says that Canada will inflict pain on the US, if he says we're going to inflict pain, that is such a wrong thing to say. Here we are. We got a president, Donald J. Trump, who's offering a great future for Canada. And Doug Ford, instead of saying, thank you, Mr. President, we appreciate the fact that you have such a great offer. Instead of thanking Donald Trump, Doug Ford is trying to challenge the US. That is so wrong. I mean, you got to think about it. I know people get very emotional and they don't think with logic and reason, but my friends, think about it. Canada, by themselves, can they overcome the domestic challenges, the international challenges that the country faces? If Canada becomes a part of the US, then automatically that solves a lot of problems for Canada, because now they are part of the American strength if they become part of America. So if Doug Ford sits down and truly analyzes the offer, instead of saying that Canada will inflict pain on the US, Doug Ford would have said, President Trump is the greatest. And he's offering unity. He's offering strength. I mean, just look at US and Canada on a map. If those two pieces of lands, the Canadian territory and the US, if they join, become one, it's going to be the greatest, greater than the greatest power, greater than the greatest power in the world. My friends, do you agree with me? Once again, I said it's important to apply logic and reason and not emotions. I mean, Canada has issues. Canada has international issues. And I mentioned this, Canada right now doesn't have a good relationship with India. There's tension between Canada and China. So the Canadian people will be better off being a part of the US. And I don't understand why Mark Carney doesn't want it. I don't understand why Doug Ford doesn't want it. Do you agree with me? Let me see. If you agree with me, just say agree. Oh, Melissa. Okay, Melissa doesn't agree. But I see Melissa's reason. Melissa is pointing out the fact that there are many liberal people, maybe socialist-minded people in Canada, and adding Canada as an American state might be an issue because it might create new barriers for implementing the America First agenda, the freedom agenda. I understand, Melissa, what you're trying to say. I completely understand that. But there may be ways to address that. There may be ways to address that, which I don't want to get into right now. But Melissa, let me tell you, I did think about that. And I don't want to jump ahead too much because I think I'm still processing that information in my mind. But I think, Melissa, there may be a way to address your concerns. I get what you're saying. Like if somebody said, oh, we're just going to double the size of California, you're going to have the same voter makeup as there is in California now, and you just add another state, which means that you're just increasing the number of people who vote blue policies or liberal policies, that would slow down progress, right? No, I get it. I understand your concerns. I understand it, Melissa. I do. But there may be ways to address that, okay? Maybe I'll discuss that in the future. But, I'm just looking at the overall picture without going into too much details. I'm just seeing you've got the United States, the most powerful country in the world, and you've got the neighboring country of Canada. And if the two countries come together, then we will have technology and resources and just everything to be the most powerful combined country in the world, not for decades, but for centuries to come. Okay. Melissa is saying it would have to be broken into few states. Yeah, that's a possible solution. I mean, yes, I think in simple terms we say Canada should become the 51st American state, but it could be more than one state. It could be more than one state. So yeah, there are creative solutions. Absolutely, there are. Absolutely. Multiple states could be. Yeah. So anyway, let's go back to talking about Doug Ford. Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario, he should be thanking President Donald J. Trump. But instead, Doug Ford is trying to challenge the U.S. And, we hear that Mark Carney says things like Canada strong, and Doug Ford says things like Team Canada, which I understand. I understand their patriotic, statements. They say Canada strong and Team Canada. Words do matter, But words matter only if the words have a strong foundation in reality. And right now, we can see that no matter how much Mark Carney says Canada strong, Canada is actually in a very weak position. As soon as the auto tariffs imposed by the US, as soon as those tariffs go into effect, the impacts on Canada, the economic impacts on Canada will be severe. Okay? And so Mark Carney might stand in front of a podium and say Canada's strong. But do those words have a foundation in reality? When you look at the economic impacts that the auto tariffs will have on Canada, it doesn't seem like the Canadian economy is going to get strong or remain strong. Actually, the Canadian economy will become very, very weak and fragile if the auto tariffs go into effect. And so, Mark Carney, I know he's trying to, present himself as a symbol of strength, and he's saying Canada's strong, but he's got to be more honest. He's got to be more honest. And he's going to have to say at some point that the tariffs will be devastating and that Canada is not as strong economically as Mark Carney is trying to present. So truly, yes, Canada will be very, very strong if Canada becomes a part of the US. That's the reality. And anyway, my friends, let's do a quick review. Let's see. Do you agree with me? Just say agree if you do. Do you agree with the things I said? Do you agree with my viewpoints? If you do, please write agree. That will help me understand who's agreeing, who's not. Mark says agree. Terry Bryan says agree. Okay. Don doesn't agree. Darren doesn't agree. Gary doesn't agree. Rachel agrees with me. Thank you, Rachel. Who else? Let's see. Dulce, is it Dulce? Dulce is saying agree. Longman family, Kara says agree. Thank you so very much. Kay Cooper agrees. Misty Adams agrees. Evelyn agrees. Thank you so much. Charisse agrees. Elaine agrees. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, my friends. Thank you so very much. By the way, do not forget to like this video. Please like this video, my friends. Eric says agree. Okay, excellent. Now here's the good news. Here's the good news. Mark Carney, Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney said that he will soon speak with Donald Trump. President Trump, 47th President of the United States. So that's a good news. I have always said that dialogue is important, constructive conversation is necessary, and I'm happy to hear that Prime Minister Mark Carney will soon speak with President Donald J. Trump, and I think that is a step in the right direction. All right. Let's see. Okay. All right. I see different viewpoints here. I see different viewpoints. All right. My friends, thank you so much for sharing the different viewpoints that you have. Obviously, I want this channel to be a place where people can share their opinions. Some may agree with me, some may disagree with me, but feel free to share your thoughts. D is asking, do you actually believe this will happen? Now, listen, this is not politics as usual. This is not government as usual. This is not business as usual. Things have changed. You know, we are going through globally, and this is way bigger than we can imagine. Okay, there's a global economic transformation taking place. There's a global political transformation taking place. There's a global ideological transformation that is taking place. There's a global spiritual transformation that is taking place. My friends, I think because we are living and breathing in a moment in time, and from one moment we move on to the next, and then to the next, and then to the next, we don't often get to experience and appreciate and understand and comprehend the fact that we are going through a tremendous transformation globally. Okay, there's something very important that is taking place that is beyond our control, and it doesn't pertain to any one country. It doesn't pertain to any one government. It doesn't pertain to any one administration or one political party. There's something much bigger taking place. And that's why, just go back 20 years. Go back 20 years. Put yourself in the year 2005. Put yourself in the year 2005 and try to imagine what 2025, 20 years down the road might look like. Did you imagine 2025 to be what it is? I think no one could have imagined what 2025 would bring. Okay? We all have. Right now we can sit and say, okay, what is 2045 going to look like 20 years from now? We can paint our own picture. We can imagine what the world is going to be like. But when we get there, it might be something very different from our imagination. And right now, I think we are living in a moment, in a period of time when we kind of understand that things can be vastly different than what we imagine. But back in 2005, I don't know if we could ever imagine that this whole concept of business as usual, politics as usual, is going to get wiped out. And we are in a very different world. We are in a very, very different world. So the question was, I think something like, is this going to happen? I guess you meant, is Canada going to become a part of the US? Will there be a unity? Will there be a new union? The traditional answer might be, no, it's never going to happen. But you don't know what might happen, what might not. 2 years ago, a lot of people thought that Trump will never be the nominee. 2 years ago, a lot of people thought that Trump's never going to win a presidential election again. 2 years ago, a lot of people thought that all these activists, judges, and lawyers will win because they were throwing cases after cases after cases at Donald Trump. Remember the mugshot. Remember the courtroom. People thought that the opposing forces will win and Trump's not gonna be in the White House. But here we have President Trump, not only in the White House, but he's stronger than ever before. So, people can guess, people can expect one thing or something else. And what the reality may present to us may be something very different. Maybe like we didn't even think about this possibility. And that becomes the reality. I don't know if I can explain it too well. So the traditional answer might be, oh, Canada is going to remain Canada. US will remain US. Canada is not going to be a part of the US. It's not going to happen. But how do you know it's not going to happen? We are going through transformation, things that are happening around us, in our neighborhoods, in our cities, in our states, in our country, in this world. It's beyond our control. And so anyone who says, oh, Canada is never going to be a part of the US, well, just remember that. Go back 10 years ago. Go back to 2015. People said, there were people out there on media, on TV, they said, oh, Trump's never going to get the GOP nomination. I'm talking about the first term. When President Trump and Donald Trump at the time, he was not president, he was candidate Donald Trump. He announced that he's running for office. A lot of people joked and laughed, oh, Trump's never going to get the nomination. Then he got the nomination and people said, oh, he's never going to win. No way. And he won. Then when he exited the White House, people said, oh, he's never coming back to the White House. And he came back stronger than ever before. So never say never, because, the truth wins. Honesty wins. The good always wins. So the offer that President Trump is making, it is an offer that Canada cannot refuse. I mean, just think about the fact that so many people from all over the world, they all want to come to the US. Why? There's something so special about the US that everyone wants to come to the US. People cross jungles, people cross hills and mountains. People walk across the desert to get to the US. Why? What is so special about the US that people risk their lives to get to the US, to be in the US? And here Canada is getting an offer. Canada is getting an offer to be a part of the US. It is an offer that Canada can't refuse. Why would Canada refuse? It would be illogical to refuse that. It would be illogical. I understand people have sentiments. Yeah, people can still retain their Canadian identity. Right here in the US, we are Americans, but then depending on the state in which we live, we have certain sentiments, certain emotions, and especially you can see that whenever there's a sporting event, right? Whenever there's a sporting event, people feel so strongly about Wisconsin, like we got the Green Bay Packers. We want the Packers to win, right? And we have a certain pride as Wisconsinites. We're proud of Wisconsin. We're proud of our agriculture. We are proud of our university system. We are proud of our, healthcare system. We are proud of all the tourist destinations that we have. We are proud of our work ethic. So as Americans, we are united, but then I'm a Wisconsinite. I love Wisconsin. And there are people in New York who feel the same way. They love being a New Yorker. There are people in Texas, and those feelings are strong about Texas. People love Texas. If you were born and raised in Texas, you are a Texan. And you may end up going somewhere else later in life, but you're always going to be a Texan. So we have those strong feelings about the different states in which we live, in which we work, in which we spend our time. And so if Canada becomes part of the US, Canadians can still be Canadians. But the unity will be important in terms of officially making Canada a part of the US. So now we have a combined territory, a combined economy. And yeah, Canada will still have its own economy, just like we in Wisconsin, we have our own economy. In Wisconsin, we have our own budget process, the state budget process. And that is something that's going on right now in Wisconsin because the governor proposed his budget. The legislature is going to do listening sessions, gather public input, and then, there's going to be that legislative process that's going to take place. So Canada will still have its own economy, just like Wisconsin has its own economy. California has its own economy. Illinois has its own economy. Florida has its own economy. New York, and just pick any state. Each state has its own economy, but then combined, we are the United States. And if Canada joins the US, Canada will still have the Canadian identity, the Canadian economy. But then Canada will be a part of the US, and this combined country is going to be absolutely unbelievably strong. So anyway, those are my thoughts. And I think it is important to look at the future. Okay, Mark Carney doesn't understand the possibilities. Doug Ford doesn't understand the possibilities. Suzanne is saying, we appreciate you, Tassif. Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you. And I want to be very clear. We got Canadian friends here on this channel who tune in. And we appreciate our Canadian friends. And there's something that we have in common. We love freedom. We, the Americans, we love freedom. The Canadians love freedom. And if Canada becomes a part of the US, Canadians will enjoy greater freedom. Angie Mitchell. Angie, so good to see you. So good to see you, Angie. Angie is here. It's been a while, Angie. I haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much, my friends. Please make sure you subscribe and also hit the like button. So my message is about unity. My message is about strength. My message is about looking at the long term. My message is about a glorious future. So I'm glad to see so many of you agree with my viewpoints. And of course, there will be those who don't agree with my viewpoints, and that is fine. That is absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. We welcome people with various opinions, as long as we make sure that we're having the conversation in a very nice manner. Let's treat each other with respect. That's important. So yeah, that's all I have to say, really. I mean, we're 1 hour into the live stream. 52 likes so far. Thank you so much. D is asking, what about Greenland? Yeah, Greenland will be much better off if Greenland is owned by the US. If Greenland becomes a part of the US, if the US gains possession of Greenland, the future is going to be truly, I mean, I'm going to use the word glorious again. The future is going to be glorious for Greenland. And let's go beyond the territories we're talking about. A stronger US means a stronger world. A stronger US, a prosperous US means a more prosperous world. When we succeed, the world succeeds. The world succeeds. There's greater security, there's greater safety around the world when the United States of America is strong. Because when we're strong, our allies are strong. When our allies are strong, our adversaries are weak. So, you know, this is something that I have experienced, I've come to understand doing these live streams, that Americans, Canadians tune in for these live streams, and we have a strong bond. We have a common goal, and that is freedom. We want to ensure freedom, we want to protect freedom, and we want to enjoy freedom. And just that idea can unite Canada and the United States. But Canada needs better leaders. You got Mark Carney standing in front of a podium trying to act strong. But is he really doing what he should be doing for the Canadian people? I mean, on one hand, he says Canada strong. On the other hand, he does understand that if there's a tariff war, once again, I don't want to call it a war, but people out there are using that term. If there's a tariff war, if it's US versus Canada tariff war, the Canadian economy cannot withstand that pressure. Because the US economy is much stronger, and I've talked about this, I think, during the last live stream. The US economy can tolerate a lot of different shocks that the Canadian economy will not be able to tolerate. And so Canada needs a leader who recognizes reality. Like, you know, did you see that the video of Conor McGregor visiting the White House? Have you seen that? And what did Conor McGregor say? Let me look up his let me look up his quote. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay. Where is it? Where is it? Hold on. I gotta... Give me 1 second. I'm gonna look this up here. Okay. Conor McGregor visited the White House. It was not that long ago. just some days ago. And Conor McGregor was at the White House press podium, and he compared U.S.-Ireland relationship as the relationship between two siblings. Conor McGregor said that we wish to be taken care of by the big bro, meaning the big bro is the US, the little brother is Ireland. And he said the United States should look after its little brother, little bro. You know, such words play an extremely important role in strengthening the relationship between two countries. Because obviously I think anyone will agree that the United States is massive and Ireland is in terms of size, in terms of economic power, in terms of military power, Ireland is not close to the US. Ireland is a wonderful country, beautiful country, great people, great music. I personally, if I tell you the list of my top favorite, musicians, singers, a lot of them are Irish. So Ireland is such a culturally, historically rich country. But when you look at economic power, the United States is far, far, far more powerful than Ireland. I mean, it's I don't need to explain that. We all get it. Conor McGregor acknowledged that, and then he strengthened the relationship between US and Ireland by saying, oh, we're the little bro, Ireland is the little bro, US is the big bro, and we want the big bro to take care of the little bro. And that is such a personal and emotional, a sentimental approach. This is what strengthens relationship. And so I'm glad that Conor McGregor acknowledged that Ireland is a smaller country, smaller economy, very, very important, but still smaller. I mean, US is big. And he said that Ireland is the little brother, US is the big brother. That is a very, very smart approach in international relations. I mean, he's an MMA superstar, Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor is not a diplomat. He's not, he's not the Irish ambassador to the U.S. He's not and now I see that he's running for office, but he's not really a politician. But he's intelligent. He's smart. And he understands that it is important to acknowledge and highlight the reality, which is Ireland needs a strong partner like the US. Ireland being the little brother, US being the big brother. And the fact that he said that itself would play a significant role in improving and strengthening US-Ireland relationship. So I think it is time for Canada to take maybe not the same approach, but similar approach. Canada must acknowledge, instead of Carney being out there and trying to challenge Trump and trying to insult the US and show disrespect, Carney should say, US is far more powerful. Thank you, President Trump, for offering Canada to become a part of the US, let the negotiations, let the conversations begin. If Carney unreasonably presents himself as someone who can challenge the US, it's not wise because economically we're far more strong. But the path would be to unite. The path would be to unite. If you see US as strong, and if there's an offer for Canada to be a part of US, then why not? Anyway, these are my thoughts. Share with me your thoughts, my friends. Let's see. Oh, Misty is writing about my hair. Thank you, Misty. Angie, thank you so much. It's so good to see our Canadian friends here. We got Angie Mitchell, we got Marjorie Bedford, and we got Suzanne Bruce. Thank you all so very much. Bill, so good to see you. Is Freshly here? I think I saw Freshly too. Freshly, are you here? I see Auditrons here. All right. Okay, all right. I see some conversations taking place. Excellent. All right, my friends. Tommy Brown, good to see you. My friends, I'm going to wrap up this live stream. Thank you all. I'm getting the spring allergies again. You know, spring is here. And actually what I'm going to do, believe it or not, it's like 12:43 a.m. right now. But I'm going to go have some tea with some honey so I can soothe my throat with the honey. Honey helps. The spring allergies are here. Okay. So anyway, I won't complain because I was waiting for spring. I'm waiting for summer. But anyway, my friends, I think President Trump is doing great. And I'm looking forward to some positive development in the US-Canada relationship. I think President Trump has a very, very positive approach, but leaders like Mark Carney and Doug Ford, they need to be more wise in their decision making, okay? They need to be more wise. So thank you all, my friends. I appreciate each and every one of you. Let me look at the poll here. I'm going to end the poll. The question is in terms of international relations, do you support the actions President Trump is taking? 308 votes and 53% said yes. So 53% of the respondents agree that yes, they support President Trump's actions in terms of international relations. So thank you all. Thank you all, my friends. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm going to try to do these live streams again. I know I missed for several days, but I'm going to try to do these live streams as much as I can. So thank you all for joining, and in particular, our Canadian friends. I gotta thank our Canadian friends in particular, Suzanne, Marjorie, and Angie. Thank you all, and everyone else. Thank you so very much. Evelyn and Bill and Edwin. Let's see, Rachel, Charisse, so many others. Tommy Brown, Frank, Misty. Am I missing anyone? There are so many friends today. I know if I start mentioning everyone's name, I'm going to miss a few names, so I apologize. Longdon family, Kara, thank you. Kristen, YIME is here. Kristen, thank you all. It's so good to see you. Kristen's from New York joining us. Dana, hi Dana. Good to see Dana always. Dana from Oregon. Thank you, my friends. Yes, I did change my hairstyle. So my hair parting was over here. The hair used to be brushed that way. You can see previous videos. I cut the hair really short. For the first few days, I spiked my hair this way. It was like little spikes. But now, as the hair is growing a little longer, I have brushed it in the other direction. So now the parting is on this side, not much of a parting here. And it's in that direction. And so uh, when I had my hair going this way, it would cover part of my forehead. It was long. Now that way, it's more like brushed back. So anyway, I hope you like this hairstyle. I'll change it again. I'll change it. I'll change it. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, my friends. Okay, did I miss greeting anyone? Please let me know. D is saying I'm enjoying listening to you. Thank you, D. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Angie. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, my friends. K Cooper. K Cooper. Thank you so much. Freshly is here. Freshly, where are you? Becca is asking, where are you located? Becca, I am located in Madison, Wisconsin. In the city of Madison, in the state of Wisconsin. That's where I am located. Okay. All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you all. I'm going to end this live stream. Something that I've mentioned previously that I'm going to do is I'm going to put a post up on YouTube prompting people, encouraging them to send me questions. You can send me any questions, but obviously the emphasis, I expect the emphasis to be on social and political issues, domestic and international. But you can ask me questions about my hobby or whatever. But the focus, I'll try to keep it more social and political issues. So I'm going to do a live stream just answering questions. I have not been able to do that yet, but I will do it in the near future. So send me your questions. And also, let me put up my email address here. My email address is tausif@tausifanam.net. tausif@tausifanam.net. So send me an email with your questions. And then I'm going to answer. But I'm going to put a post up on YouTube, and you can leave questions in the comment section of that post, and I'll answer those questions. I may not be able to answer all the questions, but I'll answer as many questions as I can, and of course relevant questions. Okay. So thank you all, my friends. May God bless you all. May God bless President Donald J. Trump. May God bless the Trump administration. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless our U.S. allies. And may God bless freedom-loving people all over the world. Thank you, my friends. Have a wonderful night, and I will be back again with a new live stream and more videos very soon. Have a good night, friends. Thank you.